Okay, so let's make a sequencer. What do we need in our sequencer? Yes, we need a metro. And for right now, let's just give it every half a second. So we've got our metro. From my example there, we know we need a toggle to turn it on and off. We've got that. And just so I can see what's going on, I'm going to put that bang box there too. I'm going to lock it and test. Great, we've got that working. And so then what I didn't show you there, one of the things I didn't show you was counter, right? But I talked about that in class. So let's make a counter object. And for right now, let's just do count from 1 to 4. Count, you will notice, has many inputs and many outputs. I'm just going to work with the first one for now. And to see what it's doing, I'm going to give it a number. And let's just watch what this does. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So it's giving me numbers. Each time it gets a bang, it's turning it into a number in the sequence and then looping the sequence when it gets to the end. And again, if I was curious, like I said, you can count up, you can count down. If we open the help file, it's going to show us loop backwards, loop forwards, palindrome, up, down, all different things we can do with counter. But for right now, I just want 1 to 4. Like to count like on a logarithmic scale or something. I don't know. Okay, so we've got our counter. Then I want to select like I want to hear like bump bump psh, bump bump psh, some kind of like drumming or something, notes.
Use audio files.
You put 3 audio files, name it 1, 2, 3, and then you have like a counting, like a counting.
Yeah, I could do that, but what if I've got like 20 audio files, but I'm only counting 1 to 4, but like on beat 1, I want 3 files to play.
So add small ones.
Yeah, so I need to send my counts to specific places,
Yeah.
right? I need to route them, one might say. So I can use either the select or the route object for this. I'll take a minute to look at route and select. They work very similarly, except with what you actually get out of them. So we're going to have to pay attention to the Max console here. And my route, I've got printing each outlet will have a different name. So the first outlet is R1, the second outlet is R2, etc. Select uses S. And so so I've got route 1, 3, cat. So it's going to say, okay, if I get a 1, I'm going to send it out here. If I get a 3, it's going to actually go out the second outlet. If I get a cat, it's going to go out the third outlet. The fourth outlet, and you'll see when I hover over it, I get these tooltips, is saying input if it doesn't match. Okay? So let me lock this. And so I'm going to do a 1, and I get a bang out of R1. If I click cat, I get a bang out of R3 because it matched my third parameter. If I give it a dog, on the fourth one, R4, I get dog. If I give it 1 cat, this is the unique thing about route. It's going to say, okay, 1 matches 1, but then it's going to send me cat, the actual word cat, from the message. And that could be cat, bat, sat. It'll send me everything after the 1 out that outlet. Select will not do that. Otherwise, select is very similar, right? I give it a 1, I get a bang on S1. I give it cat, I get a bang on S3. I give it dog, it sends me dog out the fourth input doesn't match outlet. I send it 1 cat, and I just get a bang on S1. So it's like, you sent me a 1, but I'm going to disregard everything else. You just get the 1 matched bang. Okay? So depending on what I want to do, might influence my choice there. Let me go back to what I'm building here. Yeah.
What's the difference between select and route?
Yeah, so the difference between select and route is that select is only ever going to give me a bang if something matches. Route will actually send me information after the thing that matches. Becomes useful when we're getting that sensor data, right? And I might be getting a data from a sensor that says like connect 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, which are values coming from that sensor. And so I want to route all the information from connect down one path. So with route, I send it that message and I'll get 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 outward. If I send connect 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 to select, I just get bang. I lose all that data that I had.
Can I understand this way, like the route just kind of go back like over and over the select just one and end?
Yeah, let's look at it with the Metro,
Okay.
and we'll see what happens here. So I've got my counter going. I'm going to use the select one first. And I'm going to say select 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to add 4 bang buttons. If it matches 1, if it matches 2, if it matches 3, if it matches 4. And let me organize these a little bit. All right, and now let's watch what happens. So now I get specific things happening with each count. So if it's on count 1, I could do one set of things. If it's on count 2, I could do another set of things. If it's on count 3, I can do another set of things. Okay. So that's the utility of sending it into a select or a route.
So right now, what is counter 1-4 doing?
Count is giving me numbers 1 through 4.
Okay.
Let me put that back in.
Okay. So I didn't see like a dash or anything, so I wasn't sure.
Right. Right. Yeah. It doesn't need a like any punctuation in there.
So if you wrote counter 1-2, it would just be 1-2.
Right.
1-2, 1-2.
So yeah. So let me put over here. So now it's going to send. That makes very little sense. Let me put a message. So now it's going to show us in this message anything that doesn't match the sequence. So if I change this counter, let's do 1, 6.
And that's wrong because it would have to be select 1, 2, 3, 4, 6,
5, 6.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I wanted to use all 6 values that I'm getting from the counter. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so now we've got these triggers. Now we can actually like now we want drums or music or sounds or something. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to work with sound very quickly. One is just a quick way to make a beep. I can take any number and using a bit of MIDI math, which is a music kind of language, turn it into a frequency and make it a beep. So I've got my audio on, and I can say, what is 67? What is 69? Oof. I can drag, or I can drag on the keyboard. Cool. What is that actually doing? You'll notice it's going into this quick beep thing that's also over here. This is also another subpatcher. I'm not going to get into this too much, but what it's doing is it's taking, let me use this one because I added notes here. It's taking the MIDI value, converting it to a frequency, making a sine wave of that frequency, and then this line in this weird number message is giving it a bit of a ramp up and ramp down in volume, so it isn't like popping your speakers every time you make the noise. And then it's just passing that noise signal along. You'll notice there's a difference in these patch cores, right? These ones are all gray. These are numbers or words, and these ones are black and yellow. Black and yellow patch cords are audio frequencies. So it's things that could be interpreted by a speaker and turned in sound. So that part, the quick beep, you don't have to fully understand right now. Other than if I give it a number, it's going to give me a note based on that, right? And you can see this keyboard object is really just giving me a number. It's like a visual representation of the keyboard. Yeah.
So this is just like the keyboard, just the keyboard, and the quick beat is what's inside the actual keyboard in a way. Right?
That's one way to think of it, yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's the part that makes the sound. Whereas the keyboard is just the buttons.
Yeah.
If I get rid of this patch cord,
Okay.
Still
That
interactive,
makes
it's
sense.
just not.
it's not doing anything. I can still make sound though by changing my number because that's still connected. So yeah, so the keyboard is just like a visual aid, a UI element.
I mean, the keyboard's coded, like certain notes are coded to certain numbers, like regardless of whether the keyboard is like, like.
Yes,
Like which I can always be sure that 60, what was it, 61 is middle C? Like
60.
60, I can always be sure that 60 is
Yeah.
is a note C.
With the way this is programmed, yes. Okay, so knowing that, let me, I'm going to copy these things, come back over here, and paste them in
How
here.
would you space map?
Like if I want the location to transfer, it does by default, which
If
can be
my-
good,
my-
it can be
my
bad.
input source measures distance in the space, and somebody stepping on that tile, it would measure that. Would it be like here, or here, is it distance?
We can, we will look at that in a couple weeks. That's just some math equations and
Graphically,
doing some range adjustments. Yeah, yeah, that's just some math.
And then I can program to be reactive and cause overlays.
So if I use a message instead of a number box here, and I put this in line with this, so now I've got my 60. Let me turn this on. And I need to turn up the volume. Okay, so now every time that hits, I'm going to get my C note.
Okay. So every time when it gets one, yeah, go to the.
If I select one or multiple things and hold down the Option key, I can click and drag to create a duplicate of it.
Okay.
So I can connect this one up. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to get a little sloppy with my placement here just so it's on the screen. Let me change this back to 1 to 4. I need to turn the volume up on these ones. And let's change some of our notes.
So if this what we are going to make